Hey everybody, welcome to the List Critics, and with me as seldom is Carissa Botello because Tanya is not feeling well today.
Yes.
Carissa's filling in. Tanya has the haps. If you don't know what the haps is, it means it's constantly happening. If you don't know what it means when it's happening, we'll figure it out.
The bum chaos is abundant.
The bum... What did you call it when you texted me? The bum rattata?
No, the bum rakaka.
A rakaka. I'm thinking rattata. I'm like, isn't that a Pokemon? I was half asleep when you texted me.
The bum rakaka.
Bum rakaka.
Exactly.
Alright, let's start with this list here that I got a couple that I want to do before we get to our submitted list. From PlatedJeans.com we have better names for snack foods. And there's 20 of these. So basically these are snack packages photoshopped to have names that are more indicative of what you're actually getting.
Okay.
So first up, you're familiar, Carissa, with the Lunchables?
Yes.
Well, a better name would be Mom Gave Up.
Okay.
The next one is that, and this stuff is gross. Are you familiar with the Big League Chew?
Yes.
Isn't that fucking nasty?
I liked it as a kid, but as an adult,
looking back on it, don't you think, what the fuck?
Yes.
Well, they wrote, the title of it, Pretend Lip Cancer.
Yep.
Cheetos are renamed Spray-Painted Styrofoam Peanuts.
Depends on, like, plain Cheerios, yeah.
No, Cheetos.
Oh, Cheetos. I thought you said Cheerios for some reason.
Cheetos, yeah. Spray-Painted Styrofoam Peanuts. I think the big puffy ones do taste like that.
I like the big puffy ones compared to the crunchy ones.
I like the crunchy ones. I'm all about the crunch. But I don't get them that often because they're like so salty.
And then my niece is into the hot ones.
I've never tried them, although I've heard they're good.
Oh, she's like, every time we're in the grocery store or at the convenience store.
Like, Flaming Hot Cheetos! Flaming Hot Cheetos!
Yeah, so she's crazy that way.
Okay, Cracker Jack. It's, do you like fun prizes? Then get ready to be disappointed.
Fucking A.
Yeah, the little things that came in the I mean, it was always, like, bullshit.
A decoder ring! I have that
decoder
ring!
Okay, for what do you call these things? The fruit roll-ups, it's edible miniature yoga mats. Yeah, kinda, huh? Yeah.
No, yoga mats are different textured. I like fruit roll-ups, so that's me.
Now, okay, I don't actually know what this chocolate bar is called. It's like the Hershey bar, but it's got like the chocolate foam in it.
Oh, aerated.
Okay. Well, they're saying it should be called Hershey's. You just got screwed out of chocolate.
I like them.
Because I've never had it.
It's more like eating fudge almost.
I like fudge. Okay.
It's just really airy. Like, it's almost like if they turned bubbled up chocolate milk into the chocolate.
That's cool.
I like it.
Carissa, Julie just texted me, when do you start recording?
Now.
Just did. Lol.
Bust.
Okay, the Hostess fruit pies. It says, according to the FDA, we can't use the word fruit until we actually put a cherry in this.
Oh.
Snap.
Yeah.
Then we have the Hostess snowballs. They are hairy, tasty pink balls. Seriously, that's as classy as we can get. That's nasty.
No, I always pop the marshmallow out of them. I hate the marshmallow.
And then on the Hostess turn, we have the Twinkies. They're called sponge-covered caulk.
No.
They're not sponge. No, I like Twinkies.
That's fucky, because, like, who doesn't love a Twinkie? Jesus, when they went off the market for that long, people were, like, stockpiling.
Oh my god, did you see the angry grandpa? I need Twinkies! Ah!
Yes, yes.
Oh my god.
Awesome movie.
Okay, on a thing of beef jerky, it says, for when you're working up to eating your friends. It's a zombie chew. Zombie chew. This is a box of, what do you call it? Oh, Junior Mints. You will never eat these outside of a theater. Unless you're in an operating theater, right?
I got that. No,
you
like...
turned down a Junior Mint. It's chocolate. It's very refreshing, Jerry.
No, at our Rite Aid, they sell them in the box, just like the movie theaters, for $1.
Yeah, but do you ever actually get them?
Yes.
Ah.
They're one of Tanya's favorites.
You have bucked the trend. Then we have Kit Kats. It says, to be eaten in front of your brother without any hint that you're going to share.
I like it.
Oh god, what do you call these things? Raisinets.
Oh, one of my favorites.
I hate them. And I like this name for it, Rabbit Poo. I don't like raisins, so covering them with chocolate is really just doing a disservice to the chocolate.
I like them.
You know what's funny is there's a much better variation called Goobers, which are chocolate-covered peanuts, but nobody wants to buy something called Goobers.
But see, I gotta be careful when it comes to anything nutty because I'm allergic to walnuts.
Oh.
So if it was on the same...
Yeah, if it's in the same processing plant.
Yeah.
Oreos.
Could swell up.
America's favorite cookie, the Oreo, and it says, you never thought you could get into a fist fight over how to eat a cookie until now.
Yeah.
I just eat them like a normal person. I don't understand these people that got to do this elaborate ritual with every Oreo.
My brother and I had a really good system going on when we were kids.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't like the cream in the middle because it gave me toothaches.
Oh.
So he would sit and lick all the cream out of the middle of them, and I would have just the cookies to dip into milk. It was a very good, like, symbiotic relationship there.
For the goldfish crackers, it says, like eating your carnival fries. You know, I never understood why they would give away goldfish as a prize in a carnival. It's like, here, you win responsibility.
They were cheap-ass goldfish. They were feeder fish.
I know, but it's like not really a prize, because now, like, oh, I gotta go and get a bowl and feed this thing, and, you know, you won responsibility, kid. Congratulations.
I never had one of those. I had glowy fish.
Oh, there you go. Box of Pop-Tarts says, you already ate 3 before you reached the toaster, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. They gotta be warm or I won't eat them anyway, so they're gross cold.
We had a situation where Tanya's ex ate them after putting them in the microwave.
Uh-huh.
And my best friend, Katie, called up the company and basically said, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you have microwave directions on Pop-Tarts? And she had a retard fit over the phone.
That's funny. You know what, and you know the weirdest thing is, oh, I threw it out. I had an empty box of Pop-Tarts over here. It actually says, you know how long it tells you to microwave them for?
No, how long? 3
seconds.
And that's the thing is that you microwave them, they come out soggy.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't microwave them.
That was the point is that,
yeah.
You know, my best friend Katie was like, why are you going to eat soggy Pop-Tarts? And she had
she called up the company and
biggest fit. She
That's
threw
great.
the biggest fit and gave them hell over the phone.
You should have videotaped that, made it into a viral video.
It would have won awards, let me tell you.
Here's one for a can of Pringles. As long as you think they taste like potatoes, we're all good.
No.
The thing is, Pringles don't actually taste like potatoes. That's the thing.
No.
It tastes like potato mulch, which is technically what they are. Reese's Pieces, it says, Reese's for when you're out of M&Ms.
Agree.
You know, I like them both, so I can't complain.
My problem with Reese's Pieces is that it's really only a thin layer of chocolate and then mostly peanut butter. And then the shell can cut your tongue if you eat them wrong.
Well, you're not supposed to eat a gallon of them. You know what's cool is if you mix Reese's Pieces and M&Ms together, and then just like grab like a few at a time.
No.
Chocolate and peanut butter. Come on.
No. Do you know what kind of fit my brain would have?
A enjoyable fit?
No.
No.
I would have to sit there and separate them, John.
Oh, so you're OCD like that, huh?
Yep.
Okay, here's one for a box of the Rice Krispies treats.
Yummy.
It says, geez, the recipe to make these is right on the cereal box.
Yep.
So true.
And they come out better if you make them by yourself.
1,000,000 times better.
And then you can do the whole chocolate thing on the bottom. You just, you know...
Oh, you could do anything you want.
Yep.
And finally, for a box of pizza rolls, it says, maybe this will shut you up until dinner.
Yep.
Oh, pizza rolls are somewhat of a guilt pleasure.
I could sit and eat an entire box of pizza rolls and not be satisfied.
Well, they're not real food.
Nope. It's
okay.
like...
Out of 20, what do you say, Carissa? What do you rank this one?
Like a 16. There were a few of them I didn't agree with, but...
Oh, I'm going to go 17. I pretty much agree, but I'm going to go a little higher on this.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have, and I did this with Jesse on List Critics too. We had Tumblr Gets Deep, but apparently this is like a weekly thing, so I may feature it more often on List Critics as it went over well. This is 21 instances where Tumblr got deep. So these are just weird, thoughtful posts, you know, like or just crazy funny. All right, so here we go. This first one, Charles Oberon posts, if something is old as fuck, then it's about 1.2 billion years old because that's when life evolves sexual reproduction. Ultimate Ventus replied with hashtag wow and hashtag fuck is old. Professor Fangirl replies with, however, if something is old as balls, it is only about 65 million years old when placental mammals began to evolve proper testicles.
There you go. Wow. Actually contemplating this crap, that's insane.
Well, that's, yeah. Like, so how old is shit then? Because you need to say old as shit?
Well,
I wonder
depends.
If they come up with that, right?
Well, considering what crawled out of the, in quote, primordial goo.
What was the first excretion?
Exactly.
Okay, this next one, Urban Cat Fitters wrote, if you don't know how to respond to something, just say, how dare you? That works.
What?
That works. Spooky Jacob wrote, you're not allowed to be busy, you're my only friend. Uncle Father wrote, snowflakes are a weird concept to me. What makes them that shape? Why do they just fall out of the sky shaped like that? Who is making them that shape? Why did my ex-girlfriend favorite my tweet when I announced that I got laid off? Why did you do that, Sharon?
Wow.
That went a different direction, huh?
Yeah. That started out, okay, you know, yeah. Why is snow? Why is snow shaped that way? Well, it's just crystallized water. That's just how it formed.
Our Nearcat posts, don't ever call your date honey in front of bees. They do not understand the concept of nicknames and will viciously attack your girlfriend in hope of getting back what was taken from them. I don't think that's the way it works, but that's funny.
No. Yeah. It's broken.
Yeah. Dutchster wrote, I wonder how many people I've seen in public who had a boner that I didn't notice.
Well,
that'll keep you up at night.
Yeah. But if you didn't notice it, how would you know that it was there to begin with?
That's the deep part about it. That's the contemplation. How many people have you just seen randomly in public who had boners?
I don't really want to think about that. Moving on.
Bundair writes, why are boobs so soft? What are they made of? Is it the dreams of 1,000 small rabbits? That's funny.
Wow.
Really lame blog writes, what if garbage was spelled like Garbij? Garbage. That's how they spell it on Twitter, probably.
Well, see, you know, and I'm not going to say English because, you know, that's way too proper for what we speak in this country. If we spelled everything that, what is the word, phonetically sounded? Phonetically. Yeah, I can talk tonight. That if it sounded that way, well, that would be awesome.
Well, you know who actually was a big proponent of that when our country was founded was Benjamin Franklin. He wanted to simplify the English alphabet and create an American alphabet.
Wouldn't that have been just so much easier?
Yeah, but if you look at the way that, like, we would be spelling things, if he had his way, it literally looks really stupid. Like, really bad.
Yeah, but we have all these poor dyslexic kids in the system and stuff that, you know...
So why confuse them by giving them something, like, completely messed up? Like, honestly, I'm trying to find the thing about Ben Franklin. The way dyslexia works is it's a visual.
Yeah.
Seeing things differently, so I don't know.
We have these kids, well, even then, we have these kids with learning disabilities that would benefit from spelling things like Ben Franklin was.
Yeah, but then they get on the internet and talk to anybody from, like, England or Australia or anything, and they just look like an idiot.
No, that's true. But we look like idiots in comparison to a lot of countries that are in school way far.
Plus, some of his letters were, like, 2 letters smushed together.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, he wanted, like, the TH to be its own letter.
Huh.
And, you know, so there was a lot of weirdness in there. It didn't catch on.
I'll have to look into that. That's interesting just to hear.
This is about turning the word gay into an acronym. Ms. Jew Booty posts, the word gay is actually an acronym. God actually doesn't mind if you're gay.
It's supposed to mean happy in the first place.
Wow. And then Lamps Are People Too replies with, God accepts you. Northern replies with, God always Yugoslavia. Here's where it gets silly.
Sure.
Micro Infinity writes, Gandalf ate Yoda.
Probably.
Ms. Jew Booty, the original poster, replies with, stop adding your own acronyms to this. It was beautiful and now it's not. I'm Amazingly on Fire writes, God actually doesn't mind if we add acronyms because YOLO. And then Ms. Jew Booty replies, I'm going to vomit on you. Very Andrew response there.
Okay.
Octopenis wrote, an atheist and a Christian sat down at a bar. They both knock back a few drinks and enjoy each other's company because they aren't pretentious assholes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the world I want to live in.
That is pretty deep, considering
somebody said to me once, like, you're an atheist. Don't you want to live in a world like without religious people, like where there's no Christians or anything?
No,
not at all. Not at all. I just want to live in a world where people don't like really enforce their views on others. That's all it is.
Yeah, like not ass faces. Like,
exactly, no ass faces. We got to get rid of the ass faces.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel writes, when girls press their whole body against you when they hug, it means they like you a lot. Also, they're measuring your body to determine how long it will take them to eat your flesh, a technique shared by boa constrictors.
Wow.
Alright, Monica Geller writes, this time of year is so depressing for Australians on Tumblr. I don't think you understand. Y'all are like, oh, I'm going to wear orange all month long and shove pumpkins at my ass and sleep in a bed of leaves. And Australians are down here like a bunch of birds are probably going to try to kill me if I attempt to go outside and I'm 5 seconds away from getting heat stroke. Oh, yeah. Cass J. Truck writes, what if you started making car alarm noises when people you didn't like touched you? You'd probably be locked up in a sanitarium somewhere.
Yup.
The Milk-Eyed Mender writes, the high horse analogy just doesn't resonate with me. I don't understand why I should want to get off my high horse. My horse is so tall. He's enormous and titanically powerful. He will stamp on my dissidents and scatter them like cockroaches. It's a good place for me to be strategically.
Good thought.
This sounds like something you would say. That's a very Rissa post.
Yep.
Okay, Alt J writes, why is James spelt with an S? Why is it plural? More than one James? How many James? Oh god, that's gonna fuck with my brain.
Isn't it though?
Punk Slut writes, if you pull me on your lap, there is a 101% chance I'm going to make out with you. No post on Sunday replies, I would advise you to avoid Santa. I don't know, maybe show him a good time. Dealing with those kids all day.
Not if it's literally an old guy.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's usually some, like, middle-aged guy with a fake beard and belly, you know?
Let's pray there are no children listening to this.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
This Nerdgasms writes, I want a true horror movie where all the characters are intelligent and do all the right things and take all the proper precautions but still wind up getting killed by the antagonist. Nothing is scarier than doing everything you can in vain and staring in the face of futility. Plus, I would like to not yell at the characters for being dumb for once.
I watched the second See No Evil movie and it blew.
Oh.
Just in reference to scary movies.
There you go. Dajal42 writes, whenever somebody says like, so what did you do today? Just look off into the distance and say, the right thing.
Cool.
I'm gonna do that to Julie next time. She's like, hey, what are you gonna do today? And I'm gonna do the right thing.
The right thing.
Postelera writes, dogs deserve to live forever.
Aww.
It's true, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, I have absolutely no idea, writes, why are these scientists talking about Pluto when they should be curing Ebola? Because they're astrophysicists, not molecular engineers or infectious disease specialists. You're getting mad at the wrong people. And there's a reply from Queer Communist who writes, walks into Starbucks and violently shakes the barista. Look, where the fuck am I supposed to get a new bed frame then?
Good point.
Alright. Okay, this is one of those things where they take a letter off of a line in each line, and then it's supposed to revert to something else.
Okay.
So it starts with you're a bitch, you're a bit, you're a, you're, you, yo, why, yo, you, you're a bit, you're a bitch. Oh look, you're still a bitch.
Okay.
Alright, so that's it. Out of 22, I'm gonna go 21 on this one. What do you say, Carissa?
Sounds about right to me.
There you go.
Looking back on all of them, yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you listened to List Critics 2 last time, but we wondered about what would happen if you go to book.com. Would that go to Amazon or something? Somebody actually just told me book.com is actually owned by Barnes & Nobles.
Go figure.
That's pretty good for them that they own that domain, huh?
I suppose. I mean...
That's as simple as it gets, right?
Yep.
That's like owning porn.com, you know?
Is there one?
Oh, I'm sure there is, but imagine how much money you'd have to pay to own porn.com.
Yeah, this is true. They must be making some good money.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Now I wonder.
Let's see.
Porn.com.
What are we going to start with today? From our user-submitted lists.
I think we should start with amateur porn.
Are you... I forgot the list credit.
You asked, you didn't specify.
All right. Krista, are you a Led Zeppelin fan at all?
Not particularly.
Right. I'll wait for Tanya for that because I know she likes Led Zeppelin. All right. Let's see. All right, I've been sitting on this one for a while. This is from Slayer Darth. It's
okay.
top 5 problems about long-running shows that he has.
Okay.
Number 5. This is somewhat similar to my 4th and 2nd points, but I feel that some long-running shows were initially relevant as they were products of their time, and by prolonging them too much, these shows lose their meaning.
Okay.
Well, they gotta evolve. Otherwise, not be relevant anymore, you know?
Right.
Like Married with Children, for example. The original Fox show was actually... You know what it was going to be called before they came up with the title Married with Children?
What?
It was going to be called Not the Cosbys. And here's the thing. The Cosby Show went off the air around season 2 or 3 of Married with Children, and it would have been a really not so good title anymore.
Yeah.
It probably would have been canceled as well.
Oh.
So there you go.
That had a pretty long run.
Yeah, it was like 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Number 4, I don't like it when there are long-running shows that don't, in my opinion, deserve the success or recognition they are getting. These are the shows that I'm surprised weren't canceled from the get-go. Well, it would have been nice if you would have given an example.
Yeah, so that's a big fuck you right there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I wouldn't go that far. Okay, number 3. It can be difficult to sustain the success of these shows with the departures of main characters. People might have only been watching in their eyes because of the main character.
That is true.
Difficult to keep the main cast, although The Simpsons has managed it for a quarter of a century.
Well, that's like they totally... Whoever was directing True Blood totally screwed up the end.
I never liked the show, so... I don't care, you know?
I know you don't care, but I was pissed.
Number 1, well, why did they even end that? Aren't there 50 books in that series?
Yes, but they weren't sticking to the books.
Oh.
In
I think maybe it wasn't as popular, so they wanted to end it before it really good. Like
the books used to be wicked popular. Like,
well, I mean the series, like, it wasn't as hot as it was when it first came out.
Yeah.
So they had to, like, go on a high note. Well, they tried to, at least. All right, and number one, or rather number two, the later series or seasons might stray further and further away from what the series used to be about. Sometimes you watch the earliest series or seasons of these shows, and it might displease those who watch from the very beginning. You know, sometimes that can actually work to their advantage.
Yeah, like...
A perfect example is the show House.
Yes, loved House.
When it first started, it was basically... The concept of it was a detective show where the detectives were doctors and the criminals were diseases. And it's all about figuring out. That would not have sustained it for 8 seasons.
No.
It became about the characters. So... You know, I mean, sometimes you have to evolve, or you're just going to, you can't do the same thing.
No.
And number one, the original writers aren't always able to return, so sometimes you can spot the inconsistency in some of the episodes or writing in general. This is particularly important with the main characters because the way they are written or portrayed in one episode might be completely contradicted by how they are written or portrayed in another episode. Furthermore, writers might add to the development or backstory of these main characters, yet other writers ignore these additions. One of the main reasons why I like BBC Sherlock is because there are only 3 writers, and therefore it has that close-knit feel.
Huh.
It's also an issue that, like, comic books suffer from because they've been running for, like, a million years, and, like, somebody can come up with, like, a really interesting, you know, take on something, and then the next writer doesn't like it, so they just discard it.
Well, that's like a season that I really liked called The United States of Terra.
Yeah.
And there were only 3 seasons of it because it couldn't go any further. But the seasons that were, like, rocked. It was about a woman with MPD.
Now, you know, a perfect example of this is actually, like, Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
It's a decent show, but there were a couple of episodes where you go, what the fuck are they even on?
Yep.
So, you know. Who just IM'd me?
It was me.
Oh, it's S Serpent.
Who?
Okay. He's a friend of mine. He's also a contributor to the show. I told him a joke yesterday, and he just replied to it. You want to hear the joke? You want to hear the joke?
Sure.
How many cops does it take to change a light bulb?
10.
None. They just beat the room for being black. And I get just total... The room is black, so they beat it.
I don't understand.
Cops are racist. I hate when I have to explain it.
Oh, I thought you said cocks.
No! Oh my god! Cops!
That's why I was like...
Oh my god!
That's why I was lost.
No wonder you were lost. That makes no sense.
It sounded like you said cocks. Which made me think roosters, okay? You know, not even sexual, but...
You're thinking of, like...
yeah, like... You know,
oh, cops! Okay, we'll try it again. How many cops does it take to change a light bulb? None. They just...
None because they beat the room, it's black, yep.
It is funny.
That makes sense. See, that makes sense to me.
It was kind of ruined by the fact that you thought I said cocks. Okay, out of 5, I'm going to give that a 4. Even the points that I don't necessarily disagree with, I can understand how he came to that conclusion.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean... You need to put examples, though, like, for that.
Examples would have been helpful in that case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we were coming up with examples on our own for crying out loud.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But that's part of the fun of doing list critics. Okay, here's a list from Alex Shannon from listverse.com. It's 10 incredibly dangerous banned toys.
Okay.
You could probably think of a few on your own, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the lawn darts?
Yup.
Yeah, that... What were they thinking with that? Come on.
I had those as a kid, and I'm
Oh, you did? Oh, man, they were banned so fast in New York, man. Okay, here we go. 10 incredibly dangerous...
We lived in Rhode Island, so...
This is going to be a lot of, like, do you remember this kind of thing? Because I have a feeling a lot of this is going to be from, like, our childhood when...
Probably.
When they just didn't care if you got hurt.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But
okay, number 10. Number 10, and I remember this very vividly, the snap bracelets.
Oh my god, they still sell them. They call them something else now.
Well, I think they've probably made them safer. But I remember this was really popular when I was in the 5th grade. Mainly the girls were into these, but some boys had them too. And for anybody who doesn't know, it's like a straight thing, like a straight lane.
It's like a straight piece of plastic covered.
It's like a little ruler, and when you'd slap it against your wrist, and it would wrap around your wrist. And then you would immediately take it off and do it again because you're a kid and you have OCD. But
exactly.
What I remember is kids, like, eventually the outer part would wear off and they would start
the material
cutting.
Would wear off and you'd end up getting cut.
Yeah, because the material on the inside was kind of like what they make blinds out of. And it was kind of sharp,
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they still carry them. They just put tougher material out on the outside.
That's good.
And feathers and sequins and goddess knows what else.
Number 9 is the Monster Science Colossal Water Balls. Okay.
That one's...
Oh, okay. This is kind of similar to, those things you'd buy that, you put them in water and then they grow.
Oh, okay, yes.
It's kind of like these. They're like marbles that do that.
Okay.
Okay, imagine kids swallowing them.
Oh, shit.
And then it grows 3 times its size inside of them.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Not a good idea.
No.
Yeah. They were impossible to X-ray and required surgery to remove.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Aquadots. Aquadots is kind of like a light bright with little beads.
Okay.
I can imagine that this was a swallowing. Oh! Actually, it's even worse. They were highly toxic.
Oh, Jesus.
It would cause seizures.
Damn.
Yeah. Wow. The kite tube.
The what?
Kite tube is like a kite that you would fly on a boat?
Huh.
Oh, you know what? It's like a parasail.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Well, let's think about why that would be dangerous.
I mean, parasailing don't you have to sign a waiver whenever you do it anyway?
You sign a waiver and you get trained on how to, drop into the water.
You gotta watch it instruct. It's like that South Park episode about the zip lining where they take all the fun out of it first.
Except there can only be so many people on a boat, so it's not quite like that,
Number 6, Cabbage Patch Snack Time Kids Dolls.
Oh my goddess, yes, I remember that, because back in the day, if you got anything material or your hair caught in it...
fingers, clothing, it would just eat it.
Yep, it didn't stop, there was no off
This was a doll that would eat you.
Yes.
Very bad idea.
Yep, I remember hearing horror stories about that, because little girls were getting their hair caught, and it would eat, continue to eat through the hair down to the scalp.
Okay, now, this is a toy more for, adults. They're called buckyballs, and they're basically these little round balls that are actually very powerful magnets. And you could arrange them into shapes. You could also play darts with your refrigerator. And it was supposed to be a stress reliever, for adults. Of course, kids get a hold of these tiny things and they swallow them, of course.
Oh,
which... You swallow one, not that dangerous. You swallow more than one, extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
They're magnets that are attracted to each other, and they were powerful enough to actually clamp together through intestinal walls and not let go.
Oh my god.
So, you could die.
Yeah.
So, very, very bad idea. Number 4, the CSI Fingerprint Examination Kit, because every kid likes CSI.
Yeah.
Okay, so, check this out.
Why was that recalled?
Well, it was so kids could play it being crime scene investigator.
Yeah.
And it included a fingerprint dust. Which contained asbestos.
Gotcha. I thought you meant ink print finger.
Well, no, it's for dusting for fingerprints, yeah.
Gotcha.
It contained one of the deadliest forms of asbestos.
Christ.
Wow.
Christ.
So the people who made it went out of business, obviously.
Smart people.
Number 3, the splash-off water rockets, which were little rockets that you could launch in your backyard that with water, the hose, Yep. But apparently they would explode randomly. There would be shrapnel involved. You could get burned. It's like the real dangers of space travel, huh?
Yeah.
Also, sometimes they would go off in unpredictable directions.
Ah.
So there you go. Number 2, the Aqua Leisure baby boats.
Been too young for,
This is like a little, like a flotation boat thing that goes around a baby's waist and they can, splash around in the water and it would...
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Oh. And it's not a bad idea. As a matter of fact, it's designed to keep them above water.
And it didn't.
The problem was that they were so cheaply made that they would tear easily.
Oh, no.
And they were fined over $500,000 for knowing about the problem for 6 years, but hiding behind the classic, but no babies have actually drowned yet justification.
Right. Yet.
Yeah, right.
Ugh.
And finally, number 1, and this is a classic toy from a long time ago. It's in the National Toy Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And you gotta wonder how they ever thought this was a good idea, the Easy Bake Oven.
But I had one, and they're still around.
I know. Well, they're a lot safer now than they were, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Let's give kids an oven.
See, that's the thing, though, is that I was never allowed to use it unsupervised.
Well, that's a good idea. That means that your parents weren't stupid, but
no.
Still, just the idea of it. And you say, oh, well, it's a light bulb. It's not that hot. It's about 400. It's about 400 degrees.
Yeah.
So it is. And honestly,
it's not about the light bulb. It's about what the inside was made of, reflective metal.
Yeah. I mean, it got up to about 400 degrees, which is honestly what you would...
Oh, close enough to how you would bake an actual cake, yeah.
Well, what do you do a cake at? Like about 400, 500?
About 350, 375, depending on the kind of pan you use and what you use.
Size of the cake, yeah. I'm not into baking. It's too much chemistry for me. I just do cooking.
How do you pick up a box of brownies, you add the eggs and the oil and the water, done deal.
Oh, well, that's easy enough, but people...
No, but baking.
Make from scratch are amazing. It's, really cool.
Oh, I do that kind of thing, so I would know.
I know, but see, there's a big difference between cooking and baking.
Oh, yeah.
And I always tell people cooking is art, baking is science.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta, baking is all about exact measurements.
Like on MasterChef when they had to do donuts.
Oh, my God.
I looked
that was cool, though. Some of those donuts were really cool.
Yeah, I looked at that and went, no. Maybe once a year if you're lucky around autumn, but no.
It's not easy. Well, that was supposed to be very challenging, and it was. Okay, so out of 10, 9. I'm disappointed the lawn darts weren't on here.
Yeah, 9. They weren't on there.
That was the first thing I thought of.
Yep.
Now, here's just a link. Okay, how about top 10 banned movies?
Okay.
This should be interesting. Can you think of any movies off the top of your head that might have been banned over here? I gotta think of, Human Centipede. I think that was banned in half of Europe.
I never watched it to begin with.
Yeah, but neither have I, but I've heard of it. Okay, what's on here? 10 banned movies. Number 10, Grotesque.
Okay.
It was a Japanese splatter horror film, which was banned in many countries, including the UK.
Wow.
The film was criticized for having very little narrative or character development, unlike, Hostel or Saw. It basically was just torture porn.
Right.
There you go.
Huh.
Number 9 is Mikey. That movie from 1992?
Huh. Does it say why?
Well, it's about a child serial killer, so, I mean, imagine it was disturbing to those pussies over in England, and that's exactly where it was banned.
Well, see, that's crazy, because that does happen.
Well, yeah. Number 8, The Human Centipede 2.
Ugh.
Yeah, now let's see, where was this banned? Oh, in the United Kingdom, and they can't handle shit over there, man.
Well.
If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, but there are people who do,
Right.
Number 7, the movie, I never heard of this, Scum.
Scum?
Makes me think of a Napalm Death album.
Yeah.
It was banned completely for television because of its graphic depictions of racism, gang rape, suicide, and violence.
Huh.
Interesting. Number 6, I've heard of this one, a Serbian film, a movie nobody should ever watch. It was banned in Spain, Norway, and Brazil.
I never heard of it, so I couldn't...
Well, it was extreme sexual violence.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Like, basically...
Oh, I have heard of that. The Serbian... Okay,
it's really horrible. Basically, there's this guy who's like a porn star, and he's like getting old, so he agrees to do like one more film to make a clean break from the business, and he finds out that he has been drafted into like a pedophilic snuff film, and he can't get out of it.
I read up on that because I'd read how bad it was, and so I went in and did some more research.
Yeah.
And, like, apparently the end is really grotesque.
I could imagine. Number 5, Natural Born Killers. This was denied distribution here in America and banned completely in Ireland.
Huh.
For glorifying murder, of course. That's what it was about.
Huh.
Yeah. Number 4, The Evil Dead. Can you believe The Evil Dead was banned?
Where?
That was a pretty good movie.
Which one, the new one or the old one?
The original.
What?
Original. It was banned in Finland, Germany, Iceland, and Ireland.
Say what?
I mean, I understand they had some issues with the tree rape scene, but, you know, it wasn't supposed to be pleasant.
No.
Number 3, Cannibal Holocaust.
I can see why they're...
Well, yeah, definitely. Nobody does gross horror like the Italians, man.
Right.
Let's see, where was this banned? Does it say? Blah, 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 blah. Does it actually say? Actually it says in over 50 countries. That's a lot.
It's like that, I can't remember who it's by, but it's called The Wizard of Gore.
Ooh.
And there's also the Directus Spiria. I can't...
The Spira! Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep.
Okay, number 2, one of my favorites. One of my favorite horror movies of all time, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Banned where? Let me guess.
Who would want... Probably England, let's see. It just says many countries. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic of suspense. It's not even that gory.
My 10-year-old nephew sits and watches that. Come on now.
Oh, wow.
Loves it.
It's a good movie. You know what?
Action figures and stuff like that.
Your nephew's cool. You know what? And I even like the remake. Yeah. I did like the remake. It was a completely different movie, but I liked it for what it was. And number 1, another one of the greatest horror movies, The Exorcist.
Banned? Yeah, I can... Oh.
Now, this wasn't banned in certain countries, but it was banned in individual towns and countries for being horrifyingly scary and in some cases for religious reasons.
Red states.
Actually, it's...
Bible Belt states.
Actually, we're talking about England again.
Really?
Yeah, it was mostly the England, you know. As a matter of fact, in England, The Exorcist wasn't even available to purchase until 1990. That's,
Holy damn.
Yeah.
I watched it
17
and
years
I
after
laughed.
it came out. 17 years after it came out. It was a good movie. Never watch the sequels. Never watch the sequels. Pretend it doesn't have any.
Right.
The Exorcist... You know what's it's crazy? It's like Exorcist 2 really sucked. And then Exorcist 3's main... Exorcist 3's like main thing is that it didn't suck as bad as Exorcist 2.
I didn't
like it sucked hard, but it was like, at least it's not as bad as 2.
See, that's one of my pet peeves now, considering what I do for, you know...
Oh, of course, yeah.
Life choices. I'm not fond of possession flicks.
Well, if they're done well, I mean, The Exorcist was a really decent movie.
No, not like that.
Yeah.
You understand, I'm sure.
No, I get you.
Are going, what?
You're talking about when it becomes exploitative.
No, not even that. Just when they make it too real looking from what they've seen in actual footage.
I see. I got you. Okay. So
because
you find it
if you
disturbing.
See that, if you see it for real, and I know you're not religious, so my apologies.
But I know what you're saying is you find it disturbing, though.
Yeah, if you see it for real, it's like, go fuck yourself. Nothing will ever be scary again.
All right, out of 10, I'm going to give this one an 8.
Yeah, because some of them didn't have descriptions, like, as to where and why.
Well, some of them it was like over 50 countries, so I don't really expect them to name all of them.
Oh, well, that's true, yeah, but still, some of them were like, what?
Okay. Here's another one from listverse.com. This is submitted by Alex Shannon. 10 strange facts about Spider-Man.
Okay.
I have like a love-hate relationship with Spider-Man. When I was a kid, that was my favorite superhero. Now
I'm a Batman fan.
Now I'm like, okay, Batman's the best. I mean, come on.
I love Batman.
Aquaman. All the DC guys are way better than Spider-Man. And then I watch the movies, and I like the first two movies,
There's a fairly new one out there called Batman Assault on Arkham.
Oh, Tanya told me all about that.
And it was amazing. It was amazing. I don't really watch Batman too much, other than when I was a kid, and I sat and watched it and was like, hells yeah.
No, but what I'm talking about is Spider-Man. The movie, I liked the first two movies, and then the third one was bad, And then they did the remake, and I liked it, and then it got a sequel, and I was like, what the fuck?
I don't know, the one with, Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst was like...
Well, that was the first three.
Yeah.
But I liked the first two. But then the third one was like, oh, shut up already, All right, so here's 10, weird facts about Spider-Man.
Okay.
Okay, number 10. I hate this.
Okay, go ahead.
This is why I don't read the Spider-Man comics. They are so bad.
Okay.
Okay, back in the 60s, Stan Lee created Spider-Man with Steve Ditko, and, the big thing was radiation.
Right.
Almost all the Marvel characters around that time had something to do with radiation.
Right.
Even the X-Men, who were just born with powers, the very first mutant story, which was told in Amazing Fantasy, happened because the person's parent was exposed to radiation, and then they had a mutant baby.
No, see, that was it. Wasn't it supposed to be a genetic?
Yeah, but it was
upgrade, so to speak, with the mutants.
That's how it became, but how it started in the 60s, it was everything was radiation.
Lame.
Hulk, radiation. Spider-Man, radiation, Lame.
Then,
Daredevil, he was splashed by radioactive waste, Everything was radiation.
Right.
Because that was the big boogeyman. So, we all know Spider-Man bit by a radioactive spider. But, a couple of years ago, they did a story, I hate this, I really hate this, where they said that it wasn't that he was bitten by a radioactive spider. It's just that radiation happened to hit a spider that was magical. So there happened to be a magic spider that got hit by a dose of radiation, and in its dying throes bit Peter Parker, and it wasn't the radiation that made him Spider-Man, it was the magic spider.
Right.
I mean,
I'm 12, and what is this?
I don't use this word that often, but that is retarded.
No, you don't use retarded, it's fucktarded.
Okay, well you use retarded all the time, Carissa, come on now.
I've fallen to fucktarded so that I shouldn't offend people.
That's a good idea. It is fucktarded. You're right.
There you go.
Number 9! Spider-Man is on speaking terms with the devil. We all heard this is another completely ridiculous story that happened a few years ago. It was called One More Day. It was called One More Day. Okay, Spider-Man's Aunt May was shot.
Right.
It was a bullet aiming for him. He dodged it. It hit her. She was dying because she's already a million years old, and getting shot is a catastrophic injury. Nobody could save her. He goes to Fantastic Four. He goes to Doctor Strange. Nobody can do nothing, right?
Right.
She's dying. She's in the hospital. He goes to the devil. Mephisto is what they call the devil in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
And this is so fucking retarded. I can't even say it. The devil says that he can completely heal Aunt May and reverse the stupid thing that Peter has been publicly revealing his identity, which is what caused Aunt May to get shot to begin with.
Oh, okay.
And everybody forget that Spider-Man is Peter Parker and save his aunt. In exchange, he had to give up his marriage. So basically the devil then goes and alters history so that Peter Parker and Mary Jane were never married, which was the writer's way of making Peter Parker single again.
Lame.
Very lame, yes. Number 8. It just says he's a ladies' man. Okay, this is interesting because, he was originally the nerdy kid that turned into a superhero.
I was going to say, yeah.
He's supposed to be this, but you look at all the women he married a supermodel. There was Gwen Stacy, the Black Cat, and all these other girlfriends. So he got some ass.
Mm-hmm.
He got some ass. Okay. Number 7, he's not always himself. Of course, they're referring to a big story in the 90s, the Clone Saga, where it was like, oh, the Spider-Man you've been reading about for the past 20 years? Yep, not the real guy, clone.
What the fuck?
And then they said, oh, by the way, actually it was the real guy.
Lame.
It wasn't a bad story, though.
Make up your friggin' mind.
It wasn't a bad story. It just went, you know what it was? Is that people reacted badly, so they had to reverse it.
Well, that's the thing is that it might have been a good story, but it's like, come on, man, make up your mind,
Well, the biggest mistake they ever made with Spider-Man was that he got married. So they kept trying to, they wanted him to be single, so they had this idea of, like, the real Peter Parker was out there somewhere, and his name was, like, Ben Reilly, and that he would become Spider-Man, and then the other Spider-Man would lose his powers, and him and Mary Jane would just sort of, like, walk off into the sunset. And they did that, and then, like, but people were, like, really upset about it, and they wouldn't shut up, and they kept sending letters, so they had to do this whole retcon to turn it around. So, there you go. Number 6, oh god, I hated this comic. Okay, they did a story called Spider-Man Reign, which was a rip-off of Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which wasn't even that good of a comic to begin with.
Right.
And it was about an old Spider-Man in the future, returning to save the city or whatever it was. Okay. And you find out that Mary Jane had died of cancer. Because he had been pumping her with radioactive sperm for years. How gross is that? There's a part where Spider-Geezer, like, digs up her corpse and hugs it and cries. It's really sick. It was such a terrible story. I can remember my friend Hugh, who's a big Marvel guy, was really into the story when it was being published, and he was like, oh my god, it's like Dark Knight Returns, and I'm like, that's not really saying much. Dark Knight Returns is not really even a good Batman story, but, I mean, it was okay, but it's really overrated, and he's like, you gotta read this, and I read it, and I was like, dude, this is sick, first off.
Yeah, no.
And secondly, it's not even that well written, so, yeah. Okay, number 5, Spider-Man traditionally operated on his own, but he has been a part of many teams, and, he was in the Fantastic Four at one point, he was in the Avengers at one point, there were a lot of the Outlaws, so, there you go. Number 4, Spider-Man, occasionally a bad guy. They're talking, of course, about another completely ridiculous story, and this one was very recent. They did a story called The Superior Spider-Man.
Okay.
Where Dr. Octopus, who was dying of cancer, switches brains with Spider-Man.
Okay.
And then Peter Parker's, mind is in Dr. Octopus's body, who then dies. So
really?
Spider-Man has Dr. Octopus's mind inside of him, and he becomes the Superior Spider-Man.
And then what?
Oh, they eventually changed it back. Somehow. I don't know. Retarded. Fuck-tarded, as you say.
Yes, that's...
Number 3, he died. Okay, they're talking about the Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man. This is interesting, because, like, all these other things, these ridiculous things that happened to regular Spider-Man, and people hated all of these things. But there was still a really good Spider-Man comic out there called The Ultimate Spider-Man, which happened in a different continuity and was actually really good. So, of course, they killed him.
That's screwy.
The thing is, they replaced him with another Spider-Man. This other kid became Spider-Man, who was like a black guy. And I haven't read these comics, but apparently it's really good, so I don't know, so...
Not that I'm racist, just...
Well, it's a completely different... It's not like Black Peter Parker, it's a completely different character.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
like, Spider-Man died, so this kid who has similar powers becomes like the new Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think his name is Miles Morales or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Number 2, he does get other jobs. Of course, you think of him as a photographer. It says he's held many other jobs over the years, such as high school science teacher, a scientist at Horizon Labs, and, he had his own company, so, stuff. And number 1, Spider-Man might be Jewish. They've never talked about they've never talked about what religion Spider-Man is.
Is Parker a Jewish-ish last name?
Not really, but that doesn't mean anything, but he does use a lot of Yiddish phrases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stan Lee was Jewish, so it makes sense that he would have...
Isn't Yiddish just like... What is it? Someone told me something about it being like Jewish Ebonics.
You know what I was just about to say? It's Jew Ebonics, and it's exactly what it's like. It's bastardized Hebrew phrases used.
Hebrew. I'm sorry. My bad. Being politically correct.
But that's exactly what it is. Ebonics.
That's funny.
But
Oy vey, you schmuck.
Actually, the guy who plays Spider-Man now in the movies, Andrew Garfield, he's Jewish, and he actually agrees with this, says that he's the neurotic good son who never thinks he's done enough to help everyone.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That does make sense.
I have a hell of a lot of respect for Jewish people, so that's pretty cool.
Totally no offense, live and let live, and,
Well, I know, when I hear I see it in the internet, like, I hate the Jews, and I'm like, how could you hate the Jews? They're awesome. They don't bother anybody, So, okay, out of 10, most of these are horrible, but they're not supposed to be, awesome. They're supposed to be weird, so job done. I'm going to give it a 10.
Definitely, there was some stuff in there that I didn't know, some stuff in there I recognized. And
most of this I knew and didn't want to know.
Some of it I didn't want to know, but I think that was the point.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's another one from listeners. Bizarre facts. 10 bizarre facts you never knew about Disney.
Okay.
Now, is this about Walt Disney or about just the company in general? Oh, it's the company in general. Okay.
I was going to say probably that because I've read something similar, so read on.
Okay, number 10. Did you know that Disney made an animated movie about menstruation?
Yep.
Yeah, The Story of Menstruation was an educational short film designed to educate young girls on what's happening to their bodies. It actually won a lot of awards and isn't as creepy as you might think.
Yep, that I knew.
So there you go.
Never saw it, but I had read about it, so.
Okay, do you know what an EZD DVD is?
No.
Okay, basically, they are DVDs that you would buy for a very, very cheap price.
Okay.
Something like $1, right?
Yeah.
And it would be playable for about 2 days, and then it would be not playable anymore. So it's basically like a throwaway rental.
Okay.
And it would have... Okay, what they would do is it was these specially treated DVDs, and they came in these vacuum-sealed bags, and you would open it, and after 48 hours, the playing surface would oxidize, and it would basically be a blank disc.
Huh.
So basically, Disney created these, and they were supposed to be really innovative way of doing like a throwaway rental. You don't have to return it. You can just throw it in the trash. But it was a massive failure because this came out the same year as Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Below the belt hit.
Yeah. Number 8. It says the family photograph. I think I'm going to have to read this. Okay. A fine line separates coincidence and magic, and this story just might leave you believing in the latter. When engaged couple Alex and Donna Voutsinis began sifting through family snapshots shortly before their wedding, they came upon a most curious picture. The 1980 Disney World vacation shot showed 5-year-old Donna posing with her siblings besides Mr. Smee, Captain Hook's first mate. In the background, a man with a distinctive white shock of hair can be seen pushing a 2-year-old in a stroller. The boy in the stroller was Alex.
Huh.
So basically, her future husband was in the background of this photo.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a small world after all. I had to make the reference. Okay, number 7. You know Miley Cyrus started on Disney with the show Hannah Montana?
Correct.
She was almost named Alexis Texas.
Lame.
It's not any more lame than Hannah Montana.
Alexis Texas sounds more like a stripper's name, though.
Well, that's funny. The reason they didn't go with that is there was a girl who was a porn star named Alexis Texas. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So there you go. Okay, now you know that Disney has been very super protective of their characters.
Yeah.
Did you know that in 1989, 3 daycare centers in Florida had murals of beloved Disney characters on their walls, and the company threatened legal retribution if the paintings were not removed?
Oh, fuck. That's horrible.
Well, this was an opportunity for some other companies to look good, so Hanna-Barbera Productions and Universal Studios came in and let them use murals of their characters at no charge.
Okay, now I have to say something about that, because when I was little and in the hospital with cancer, my Aunt Joy went around to everybody's room in the ward and painted Disney characters and princesses and stuff like that.
As long as they don't find out about it, it's okay. Well, you know, to me that's considered fan art.
Yeah.
It's what's known in legalese as a, okay, I forgot the term actually just now. It's... I forget the term for it, but it basically protects you. You can't use images that they created, but you can, like, there's no law that says you can't draw Snow White.
Oh no, she did this all by hand on the young patient's hospital room windows, like.
So, yeah, Disney kind of was a little heavy-handed there.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Number 5, let's see, Disney's Housekeeper. Alright, I better read this one. Selma Howard was born into a life of tragedy. When she was just 6, her mother died giving birth, and her sister was burned to death cooking dinner on a wood stove. Her family was poor. Yeah, this sucks, huh? Her family was poor, and although she aspired to become a legal secretary, she didn't have enough money to finish business school and had to drop out. In 1951, she became employed as a live-in housekeeper for the Disney family. She's a dedicated employee, beloved by the family, and she served them for 30 years. During her tenure, Walt Disney would give Thelma shares of stock in his company as holiday gifts, which I'm sure are worth a fortune now.
Wow.
At the time, they were worth pennies, but over the course of decades, they rose astronomically in value. Thelma retired in 1981 and died in June of 1994. Although she'd lived most of her life as little more than a humble housekeeper, she left behind a spectacular legacy. Her estate was worth in excess of $9 million.
Hot damn.
Which she left half of that to her son, and the other half went to charity.
Oh.
So, there you go.
Wow.
Number 4, have you ever heard of Escape from Tomorrow?
Sound familiar.
I better read this. I don't know what this is. As previously noted, Disney fiercely protects its intellectual property, but filmmaker Randy Moore's avant-garde guerrilla project Escape from Tomorrow flies in the face of all that. The nightmarish, surrealistic film, which was shown at the 2013 Sundance Film Festival, was filmed entirely in Walt Disney World without the park's permission. It follows the last day of a family's Disney vacation. Before leaving for the park, Father Jim White receives a call notifying him that he had been laid off from his job. He keeps this a secret and goes to the park with his wife, son, and daughter. While exploring the various rides and landmarks, Jim descends into a madness of psychedelic imagery. Disney would never allow such a film to be produced on its grounds, so Moore took great lengths to plan the project so he could shoot secretly, which is kind of impressive because they have cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
He even mapped out the position of the sun weeks in advance, for continuity, I suppose. Though Disney's army of lawyers likely could have suppressed the film, the company instead decided to take a different approach. They took no action, hoping to deny the film any further publicity.
Crazy.
Oh, that's how you handle it.
Yeah.
Number 3, did you know that a great amount of Disney Corporation employees are homeless?
Are you...
Yes. Yeah.
No way.
They don't pay well. As a matter of fact, their starting wage is $8.03 an hour for working in the park. Yeah.
Well, doing what?
Just any entry-level job at Disney World.
Wow, that's horrible.
Median rent in Osceola County, where that is $800 an hour, which seems low compared to some places, but when you factor in the cost of securing an apartment, you know, security deposit, a few months rent in advance, it's kind of hard. So a lot of them live in motel rooms and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 2, Mickey Mouse is a drug dealer. This comes from a comic book. Of course, Mickey Mouse, you know, started in cartoons, but there were many, many Mickey Mouse comic books, and one of them was he went around selling some sort of, like, you know, tonic called Peppo, which has which basically was meth.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
And number 1, of course, there's the communal underwear. Did you know that Disney characters that walking around in the park are not allowed to wear their own underwear?
Why?
They are given underwear by the company, which is like, you know, it's thrown out at the end of the day, I think. But basically, It's because regular underwear could bunch up and become visible to visitors.
Huh.
So there you go. So there were some issues with it, because they used to just wash them, but then they were saying that, being in a mascot suit, no amount of laundry detergent that smell out, and yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, no.
In 2001, Disney finally reached an agreement with the Actors Union, allowing them to take home their own undergarments for washing.
Wow.
Well, they had a lice outbreak there, so...
No kidding.
You don't want to get crabs from the fucking Goofy, Out of 10, this is all very fascinating. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 10 on this one.
Yeah, it is fascinating.
That was really cool. I enjoyed that one.
That's crazy.
Okay, this one kind of goes along with the Spider-Man list we just did.
Okay.
It's 10 hair-raising facts about Wolverine.
Okay.
Way more interesting character.
No kidding, huh?
It's so cool though. I was never a huge fan of his until the movies, but I think it's so cool that Hugh Jackman is still playing Wolverine after 14 years.
That's awesome.
Think about it. The first X-Men movie came out in 2000.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
X-Men Apocalypse coming out, I think next year. He's gonna be in that. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Okay, number 10. Wolverine, his appearance, without the mask, was actually modeled after Clint Eastwood.
Huh.
I could totally see that, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously you think of Hugh Jackman now, but you think of the way he's drawn in the comics without the... yeah.
Yeah, it fits perfect. It all does, yeah.
Yeah. Number 9. Okay, he's okay with raping teenagers. This is Ultimate Wolverine. I know about this. Okay, okay. In the Ultimate X-Men, Jean Grey is only 15 years old.
Wow.
And you have Wolverine who's 100. So apparently he got really creepy, kind of molestery with her. So as revenge, she did where she switched his brain with Spider-Man's brain. Spider-Man was friends with the X-Men. Actually, what she just did was she made his brain go in the last place it wanted to go. Wound up because he didn't like Spider-Man. So basically, Wolverine woke up in Spider-Man's body, and Spider-Man woke up in Wolverine's body, and it was a whole Three's Company thing. But the creepy thing is, what does he do? He goes to school and stares at teenagers. He tried to get a little too grabby with Mary Jane. It was just they made Wolverine out to be really creepy in that story.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I don't read Ultimate X-Men, because it's fucking creepy.
That is very creepy.
Okay, number 8 I'm not familiar with. He says he broke time. Oh, this is from Age of Ultron.
Oh,
okay. Well, since the movie's not actually going to be based on this story, I don't feel bad about spoilers, so I will read this.
Go ahead, yeah.
Let's see. So, okay, the idea was that this was this is why I'm glad they're not basing Age of Ultron, the movie, on the comic.
Uh-huh.
Because it's the same exact fucking story as Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm.
Days of Future Past was a comic, Age of Ultron was a comic. They're the same story. And they just made the Days of Future Past movie. So if they released Avengers Age of Ultron and it was based on this, it would be like they just ripped off the X-Men. So, basically, in the Age of Ultron story, they send Wolverine back in time to kill Ant-Man because he was the guy that created Ultron. And because the future, Ultron had taken over everything. So, apparently he did this and it created a whole paradox.
Jeez.
There you go. It created a bizarre future where technology is constantly combating witchcraft.
Okay.
And then he went back in time again and killed his younger self. And it created even more problems. So, yeah. Okay, number 7. Did you know that Wolverine, who's really old guy, was originally envisioned as being a teenager?
Really?
He first appeared in the Hulk comic as just this guy for the Hulk to fight, And he never took off his mask or anything. And so you just knew it was this guy, the Wolverine, who the Hulk fought, and the Hulk beat the crap out of him, and then they weren't going to use the character anymore until they needed some interesting characters for X-Men, and they found this guy that they had used in the past and said, why don't we make him an X-Man?
There you go.
But originally, he was supposed to be a teenager, and the claws were actually part of his gloves.
Huh.
So, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Number 6, a lot of people know this, I think, actually. This isn't that he has bone claws. That was another thing, like, people thought the claws were some kind of implant, and then Magneto ripped all the metal out of his body, and then one day bone claws popped out, and everybody's like, what? But that was in the 90s. I think everybody knows that by now. They even did it in the movie. The Wolverine. Actually, X-Men Origins Wolverine showed him with the little bone claws before he got that, and then in the Wolverine, after he got the, like, Silver Samurai chopped off his claws, he had the bone claws again. So there you go. Number 5, he once ran the school, the X-Men school.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was after he had a big argument with Cyclops, who was the head of the school for a really long time, and kicked him out.
He was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, Cyclops was a little too much like Professor X, who turned out to be a huge cock.
Yeah.
That's why I like the version from the movies where he's not a huge cock.
Yeah,
okay.
That's not right.
Number 4, did you know Wolverine had a son?
Nope.
He was named Daken, and he was actually evil.
Who was his mother?
You know, I don't know the character's name. I know the Winter Soldier killed her in the 40s.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I know, like, he had a wife sometime in the 40s. The Winter Soldier killed her, but she had the baby, and it was Daken. And Wolverine actually eventually killed his own son, who had the same powers as him, by drowning him. Which is the kind of death that he can't heal from.
Of course, yeah.
Number 3, Wolverine, of course, very old. He was in World War II, and he helped Captain America.
Huh.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, if you had the opportunity, you know?
Damn right.
Hey, Captain America's awesome. Yeah, Wolverine's awesome. Why not put them together? Number 2, he once ran a team of X-Men assassins. This was actually really interesting.
Huh.
He created a team, the Uncanny X-Force, which was basically him and Psylocke and Nightcrawler, Phantom X, and Deadpool. And their idea was to discreetly take out threats to mutants.
I like that.
It was a really interesting comic, but unfortunately it didn't last that long.
Didn't take.
Yeah. Well, they were actually very. The thing that ended the whole story was they killed a young boy who was destined to become the next Apocalypse. Even Wolverine had to say, okay, at this point we're killing kids. The ends don't justify the means. This is fucked up.
Right.
And number 1, he once came back to life from a single drop of blood.
Huh.
Because apparently they wanted him to be Lobo.
Huh.
They took that from Lobo. But it did happen once. It was a very extraordinary circumstance, but there you go. Something to do with aliens.
Huh.
So, out of 10, you know what, I'm going to give this one a little lower score because a couple of these were, like, kind of, like, really well-known, like the Bone Claws, and Daken is a really well-known character, and, you know, I'm going to give this a 7. What do you say, Carissa? I almost called you Tanya.
Yeah, 7's good. I mean, there were some on there that, you know, were fairly well-known, but
yeah, I mean, who doesn't know about the Bone Claws, right?
Right. Well, how would they have gotten there in the first place? It's not like they inserted that if it wasn't there for the metal to take to, then...
Well, originally the idea was that they literally just gave him metal claws.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't until, like, they did that story in the 90s where, you know, Magneto took all the metal out of him. And it was crazy because Wolverine didn't even know he had the bone claws because his memory was so fucked up. Because he'd been memory wiped so many times, so it was even a shock to him. Alright, let's see. Let's see what else we got today. Okay. Here's one from PackIsBack04 from List25.com.
Okay.
25 unusual deaths that will leave you scratching your head.
Okay.
Number 25. Death by diarrhea.
Amoebic dysentery.
Arius, who was a presbyter of Alexandria, may have ingested poison before his gruesome death. He was walking across the Imperial Forum in Constantinople when he suffered sudden diarrhea followed by hemorrhaging, eventually causing his intestines to be expelled from his anus. He literally shit his guts out.
From what again?
They believe it may have been a poison.
Huh.
Assassination by poison.
Weird.
Yeah. Number 24, a poetic way to perish. Starry-eyed poet Li Bai tried to kiss the reflection of the moon in the water next to his boat when he fell overboard and drowned. He may have been drunk.
Yeah.
Number 23, a delicious demise. King Adolf Frederick of Sweden didn't die hungry. The king suffered fatal digestion problems after eating caviar, sauerkraut, smoked herring, and champagne, lobster, 14 servings of his favorite dessert, served in a bowl of hot milk. Swedish children today still remember him as the king who ate himself to death.
That's crazy.
Dude, moderation. You know? Moderation.
Yeah.
I mean, that all sounds very nice, except for the sauerkraut, because I don't like sauerkraut.
Ew, yuckas.
Oh, that other stuff sounds good, except the hot milk. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Number 22, Red Hot Scandal. It was rumored that King Edward II of England was murdered by having a red-hot iron inserted into his anus.
Oh, fun.
Before his death, Edward was dethroned and imprisoned by his wife, Queen Isabella, and her lover, Roger Mortimer. That is ouchy. You know, back in those days, they found some fucked up ways to kill people.
Yeah.
Number 21, be careful what you wish for. American revolutionary James Otis Jr. often told his friends that he wanted to be killed by a bolt of lightning when his time arrived. His wish came true when he was standing in the doorway of his friend's house and lightning struck the chimney.
Wow.
That's nuts, man. Well, I mean, if that's the way you want to go, why not? Everybody's got to die, right?
This is true.
Yeah. Number 20, the case of a lifetime. U.S. Congressman Clement Vallandigham was defending a murder suspect in court when he argued that the victim could have accidentally shot himself while drawing his gun. In an attempt to reenact the scene, he drew his gun, which he believed to be unloaded, and accidentally discharged, killing him. Needless to say, he won the case.
Okay.
Well, he definitely proved that it was possible. So, I mean, you know, damn. Damn. I just got a list just now, Carissa. I keep wanting to call you Tom. I just got a list just now. We got to do it next.
Okay.
It has to do with RPGs and stuff. But number 19, a mystical death. Infamous Russian mystic Grigory Rasputin reportedly survived being poisoned by a group of nobles only to be shot 4 times, beaten, and then flung into a freezing river.
Yep.
An autopsy revealed he died of hypothermia.
Yep.
That guy was tough.
He was shot. He was
shot, stabbed, poisoned. Shot, stabbed, poisoned, and drowned, but it was the cold that killed him.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
Why didn't they just throw him in the river to begin with?
Well, I mean, when you're poisoning and shooting and stabbing, you don't think you have to resort to throwing someone in a river.
Not true.
Number 18, a sticky situation. The Boston molasses disaster of 1919 killed 21 people and injured 150 when a tank holding over 2 million gallons of molasses exploded. The blast sent a wave of the viscous substance through the city at a speed of about 35 miles an hour, which I think is the fastest molasses has ever moved.
Yeah.
That's gotta suck. I like molasses, but I don't want to drown in it. It's terrible.
I don't like molasses alone, but it's good for cooking shit.
You know what? I use it to make a barbecue sauce, so...
Yes, that's fine, but I mean, like, alone...
Well, I'm not going to eat a spoonful of it. That's gross, but...
Yeah, no.
Number 17. No laughing matter. They say laughter's the best medicine, but apparently too much of it can kill you. Alex Mitchell of England learned the hard way after laughing nonstop for 25 minutes during a comedy show called The Goodies. He died of heart failure from the lack of oxygen.
Holy shit.
Well, you know, if you laugh long enough, it starts to hurt.
Yes.
Number 16, an illogical death. Picky eaters take note. Austrian-American logical Kurt Gödel died of starvation while his wife was being hospitalized. He suffered from extreme paranoia and refused to eat unless his wife prepared the food. Couldn't he have done it himself? What a lazy fuck.
Yeah.
Number 15, by the skin of his teeth, American author Tennessee Williams made a habit of holding the cap of his eye drop bottle between his teeth when he inserted his eye drops. The ritual ultimately caused his death one night in a New York hotel room. It doesn't say how, but I can imagine he choked on it.
Wow.
Yeah. Number 14, you can't escape your fate. Convicted murderer Michael Anderson Godwin faced the death penalty until his sentence was changed to life imprisonment in 1983. However, while adjusting the earphones plugged into his prison cell's TV 6 years later, he bit into a wire and died. He'd been sitting on a steel-rimmed toilet at the time of his death and died of electrocution. So, fate put him in the electric chair, in other words.
Wow.
Number 13, I've heard of this one. This is crazy. Dying to be right. In an attempt to prove to a group of visitors that the glass at the Toronto Dominion Centre was unbreakable, 38-year-old Gary Hoy threw himself against a window. He fell to his death from the 24th floor when the window popped out of the frame. In his defense, the glass did not break. You know what it doesn't say here, actually, is that he threw himself against the glass to prove that it was unbreakable. You know, suicide glass.
Yeah.
And it did not break. And everybody was like, oh, very impressive. And then he did it again.
Oh. Stupid shit.
Tempting fate. And of course, the glass didn't break, but it can only take so much stress before it pops out of the frame.
Yeah, the frame, yeah.
Number 12, his dying wish. Bernd Jürgen Brandes of Germany was stabbed repeatedly before being partially eaten by Armin Mewis. It was later discovered the two had agreed to this arrangement on the internet, and Brandes has explicitly written in his will that he wished to be murdered and eaten.
Aww.
The band Bloodbath did a song about that called Eaten. It was a very good song, if you like metal. Number 11, Oblivious Much? Shante Juan Millard hit Gregory Biggs, a homeless man, with her car on the way home. He became lodged in the windshield, but suffered no instantly fatal injuries. However, he died of his injuries a few hours later when Mallard left her car in the garage with Biggs still stuck in the windshield. I mean, she hits the guy, he goes to the windshield, and then instead of stopping like any human being would, she just continues to drive home, parks her car, and goes inside the house. Leaves the guy to bleed to death? What a bitch.
Wow. That's
horrible.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I gotta find out whatever happened to her. Please tell me this woman's in prison. I'm looking her up now. Oh, here she is on Wikipedia. She was convicted and sentenced to 50 years of imprisonment. Good.
Good.
She won't be eligible for parole until 2027.
Crazy.
Alright, hold on. I gotta go to the next page of this.
Okay.
Oh, my phone's going off. Let's see, who is it? Well, that's... Oh, it's Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I'll tell her you said hi.
And blessed full moon of the wee and woo.
Alright, I'm not going to pull that out. That's way too much for a text. Alright, number 10, folding under pressure. A drunken man from St. Petersburg, Russia was having an argument with his wife one night. In anger, his wife kicked the handle of the folding couch he was lying on, and it trapped him in the wall.
Okay.
Returned 3 hours later to find him dead.
Alrighty.
Wow. Number 9, a little too long. A 28-year-old Russian man bet two women he could have non-stop sex with them for 12 hours. He won the $4,300 bet only to suffer a heart attack several minutes later because the entire bottle of Viagra he had ingested before the challenge.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Viagra is actually a blood pressure medication.
Right.
It had a side effect of creating an erection, and that's how it became.
So they sold it as an erection getter medication.
Yes. Julie says greetings. Taking that many is easily fatal. That's nuts.
Oh my god, yeah.
Number 8, killed by his own creation. Jimmy Hesselden, owner of the Segway motorized scooter company, died when he accidentally drove his Segway off a cliff. How the fuck? How the fuck do you accidentally drive a Segway off a cliff? They don't go that fast.
I don't know. Maybe he just couldn't stop it from going and wasn't going to jump off because he was an idiot or something.
Maybe you just, well, you're strapped into it, I guess, right?
In a Segway, no.
When I see the mall cops, they're strapped into it. Which it's the funniest thing to see mall cops, like they're like these 400-pound guys on a Segway, and it looks ridiculous.
It doesn't it though?
Yeah. Oh, Julie's sending me a picture. Number 7, wisdom is in the head and not in the beard. The Swedish proverb is right. A beard does not necessarily denote wisdom. Hans Steininger, 16th century Austrian man renowned for his 4.5-foot beard, found this out the hard way when he forgot to roll up his beard to escape a fire.
Ooh.
So as he was fleeing the fire, he stepped on his beard, causing him to lose his balance, break his neck, and die.
Ew.
I guess he was panicking, huh?
Yeah.
She just sent me a picture of 2 witches in bikinis jet skiing.
Nice.
That's the craziest. It's like this black and white, like these chicks in like bikinis with like witch hats, and they're skiing. Not jet skiing, but they're like on skis behind a boat. You know.
Nice.
That's the thing she finds. Number 6. Don't upset the Grim Reaper. In 1911, daredevil Bobby Leach became the second person ever to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. He went on to defy death several more times throughout his life doing other stunts, but death snuck up on him one day when he slipped on an orange peel and broke his leg so badly it had to be amputated. He died.
Wow.
He died due to complications from the surgery, reminding everyone that death can come when we least expect it.
Oof.
That's nuts.
That is nuts.
Number 5, Tiger Blood. Singapore Zoo janitor Norden Montag committed suicide in 2008 by entering the white tiger enclosure and provoking them with brooms and a pail until he was mauled to death.
Oof.
You know, if you want to commit suicide, there's ways to do it other than being eaten by tigers.
Maybe it was his dream.
That's crazy. Number 4, Hoarders Buried Alive. Brothers Homer and Langley Collier would have been an excellent candidates for a modern-day hoarding show. The two obsessively collected junk and even created booby traps to protect their prized possessions from intruders. One day, Langley accidentally set off one of his own booby traps while crawling through a tunnel of newspapers to bring food to his paralyzed brother. He died instantly, and Homer died of starvation a few days later. It took police nearly 2 weeks to uncover Langley's body after removing 100 tons of garbage from their house.
Huh.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, she's sending me something else. Number 3, Tooth and Nail. Sigurd the Mighty, 2nd Viking Earl of Orkney, decapitated his enemy and attached the head to his horse's saddle. I've heard about this. This is the craziest way to die. The head's teeth grazed against his leg as he rose, causing a fatal infection that caused him his life.
Wow.
So basically, he won the battle and cut off the guy's head, but the guy bit him.
Jesus.
Number 2, oh, the irony. The lifeguards of the New Orleans Recreation Department threw a pool party to celebrate their first drowning-free season ever. Despite the fact that more than half the people in attendance were lifeguards and there were 4 lifeguards on duty during the party, the body of a 31-year-old man who had drowned was discovered at the bottom of a pool.
Oh my god, that's fucked.
That is very ironic. She just sent me a rage comic. Okay, I gotta tell you this. Julie was talking about the other day about, like, you know how people hit on her because she's very, very beautiful.
Yes.
And she was saying it's weird because people hit on me even when I'm not looking good. Like, I could be, like, in yoga pants and people hit on me and I'm like, well, yoga pants are awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like, yoga pants aren't hot. And I'm like, oh, Julie, you have no idea. Yoga pants are so, so hot. So she sent me this rage comic just now. It says, yoga pants are amazing, so are short shorts. And then the little girl saying, why not both? And it shows, like, short yoga pants. This chick, oh, this is for you. I told you so. She didn't believe me that guys find yoga pants hot.
There was that one video of a guy wearing yoga pants.
PussieTube! I subscribed to him.
Yep.
He did it twice.
And people have nearly hit him and stuff. The
second time he did it with a girl next to him also wearing yoga pants. And he was asking, like, oh, whose ass is bigger? It was the best. Well, the girl would say, who's bigger? And he'd be like, I think that one's nicer. And he'd turn around and be like, oh, really? You think so? And they'd be like, whoa, you a dude. All right, number 1, murder or suicide. Ronald Opus jumped from a 10-story window intending to commit suicide. On his way down, someone shot a bullet from the 9th floor, killing him instantly.
Wow.
Opus had no idea that a safety net had been installed just below the 8th floor, which would have hindered his suicide attempt had the bullet not killed him.
Holy shit.
The bullet was traced back to Opus's father, who had a habit of threatening his wife with an unloaded shotgun. He believed the gun was unloaded when he fired the shot that killed his son.
Oh my God.
Police later discovered that Ronald Opus, the son, had put the bullet in the gun because his mother cut him off financially.
Oh,
this is an episode of Springer I want to see. Knowing about his dad's habit of threatening her with the unloaded gun, he hoped the bullet would kill his mother so he could receive financial support from his father. Thinking that his plan had not worked, the son decided to take his life that day. The medical examiner closed the case as a suicide because the son had actually murdered himself by putting the bullet in the gun.
Wow.
That is so complicated. I mean, like, you gotta think, like, obviously he was trying to kill himself, but he wouldn't have died if not for the bullet. So was the father the murderer? Well, the father thought the gun was unloaded. He put the bullet in there. He was intending to kill his mother. He wound up murdering himself. That's... I want to see an episode of CSI about that.
That would be amazing.
That would be like the best episode of CSI ever.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to give this a full 25 out of 25 just for that one being so cool.
Yes.
And there were some other interesting ones. Some of them I've heard of. Some of them I hadn't. Really, really cool list.
Yeah.
Morbid and creepy as hell, but very awesome. Wow. That's nuts. God, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that last one there. Okay.
Well, I really wanted to die.
Yeah. Okay, so Alex Shannon sent me his top 23 hottest celebrity women in no particular order according to a handful of people on this one forum that he's sometimes on. Okay. So we'll decide. You like the women as well, so this will be
indeed
good, you know. Okay, so first up we have Rosamund Pike.
Who?
She was the Bond girl in Die Another Day. But she was like the evil one.
To spell it?
The what? Here, I'll send you a picture, because he gave pictures. Oh. She's a 7, I mean, she's not that hot. She was also in the movie Doom. There you go. She's okay.
Yeah, about a 7.
Yeah,
okay.
Her body's good, but her face doesn't really do that much for me.
No.
Next up is Adelaide Kane. I don't know who she is, so I gotta look at this picture.
Yeah, so do I.
I'll send it to you. Oh, she is hot. Here you go, Carissa.
I'm looking them up myself, actually.
Well, he gave me pictures, so I can give them to you very quickly.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go. She's got...
Oh, I know who she is.
I don't know who she is, but she's very hot.
She's in a show that I love to watch called Reign, about Mary Queen of Scots and the French King.
Okay.
But it's all like read between the lines type stuff.
Okay.
And apparently she was also a bad guy in Power Rangers.
Oh. Next up is Alison Brie, who I do agree is sexy, but this is not like a good picture of her. Send it to you. It's a creepy, Uncanny Valley picture.
Yeah.
But she is hot. I do know about her, so.
She's okay.
Next is Charisma Carpenter.
I know that one.
Wasn't she, she was on that Buffy the Vampire Slayer show?
She was on Buffy, and she was also on Charmed.
This is a nice picture. Here, I'll send it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
need a picture. That one is automatic in my head.
Yeah, but you want to see this, trust me.
Hells yeah.
Okay, up next is Sarah Shahi. I do not know who this is, so let me bring up the picture, and of course I will send it to you as well. Yeah, okay. Here you go, Carissa.
Sarah Shahi.
There you go, I sent you the picture. Not bad. She's certainly got big boobs.
Yeah.
I like the big boobs. Okay. Amy Acker is next, and this is another one I have no idea who she is, so... she's okay. Here's the picture. She's okay. She's a 7.
Yeah.
I guess she was also on the Buffy show.
This one I don't remember.
I don't know who she is.
She's okay.
Eliza Dushku is next.
Yes.
We all know who that is.
Hells yeah.
Oh, that's a nice picture, too. It's not like a slutty picture, it's just, like, really hot. Here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, she's wearing clothes. It's just a hot picture.
Yeah.
She's very beautiful. Mila Kunis! We all know Mila Kunis.
Oh, hells yeah.
You know, it's kind of creepy because, like, you know, she started on that 70s show.
Yep.
I always thought, okay, Jackie's like, you know, I was more of a Donna person, but Jackie was hot, too.
Right.
Here's the thing, and I did not know this at the time. You know that when she started that show, she was only 14 years old?
Well, they were supposed to be in high school, so yeah.
She lied about her age.
Oh, no shit.
She was playing a 17-year-old.
Oh.
And what happened was they thought she looked a little young, and they said, "Are you old enough for this role?" And she said, "I'll be 18 on my birthday." She never specified which birthday.
Oh.
She got the role. She was a good actress. And you think back to those thoughts you might have had about Jackie, and it's kind of creepy.
No, I didn't like her until she was a little bit older, though.
Well, I didn't like the character because she was such a bitch. And honestly, she thought she was the pretty one, but standing next to Donna, she was not.
No, hell no. But no,
Laura Prepon is like, wait.
legitimately, I did not like her until she was older.
Scarlett Johansson.
Ah.
Okay, let's see. I've seen her a million times, but let's see this. Oh, it's a very nice one.
Ooh, hot. Want to touch the hiney.
There you go. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson, possibly one of the hottest women in Hollywood right now. And she's the Black Widow.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Megan Fox. I'm kind of over Megan Fox. I mean,
nope.
you want to picture her as like slutty Supergirl?
Yeah.
Oh, this is fake. This is fake. There's even like a fake like vagina.
Can I see?
Of course you can see it, but it's totally a fake.
I'm just curious. Morbidly curious.
I mean, I think if there was pictures of her flashing her cooch, we would know about it.
Yeah, no. This is Photoshop.
So badly done, too.
We could have done I could have done a better job flapping my tits on the keyboard.
Definitely. I could have opened Photoshop and like hit the keyboard with my nutsack a few times and saved it.
There you go.
All right, but Megan, I'm kind of over her. Next up, Amanda Seyfried.
She's really pretty too.
I got to look her up because it's not written. Oh yeah, okay.
From Red Riding Hood.
Yes. Here's the picture.
She's very pretty.
Yes, she is. Here's the picture.
Yes.
Next
she was in that stupid movie Mean Girls though, and that was just like bleh.
Up next is Anna Kendrick.
Who?
Here, I'll send you the picture. Yeah, I'd give her an 8.
I don't know what she was from, but okay.
I don't care. She's not bad. She certainly got big boobs.
She was in a couple different movies.
Next is Zooey Deschanel. I think that's how you say her name.
Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, Deschanel?
Yeah.
She's very pretty. I think this is a fake picture, though. Like, I think it's her body on, like, a porn star. It's not, like, naked, but you could tell it's fake.
Which one?
I just sent it just now.
It's not coming up for some odd fucking reason.
Well, you know what she looks like.
Yes.
Jennifer
Lawrence. Is that the sister or Zoe? I'm looking at something.
She has a sister named Emily. Emily Deschanel.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one is which, that's all.
Next up is Jennifer Lawrence. She's very pretty.
I love Jennifer Lawrence,
She's great.
but then again, I'm a Hunger Games whore, so...
I couldn't give a shit about the Hunger Games. But she's very pretty. Well, you know, she was an X-Men, of course.
Yes.
You know, and looking really beautiful, both as Mystique and both as herself, so...
Yes.
Very hot woman.
Yes.
And from what I've understood, she's actually also very, very intelligent, and... So there you go, and a good person, I've heard. Next up,
Butters.
I've never heard this next one. Jessica Nigri.
Yeah.
She looks like a fake anime girl. Here, I'll send it to you.
Probably.
I'm not impressed by her.
Geek shizzle. No.
Yeah, no, right?
Yes.
No.
No. Fuck that.
She's trying too hard.
Uh-huh.
Next is Alyssa Milano. Good lord, I mean, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
She's okay. But in comparison, I definitely like,
Well, I had the biggest crush on her.
Charisma Carpenter.
When I was a kid, I had the biggest crush on her.
Yeah, you would.
Well, about the same age as her, you know?
Well, what is it with you and collecting witches? See?
Well, I knew her from Who's the Boss, so...
Yeah.
You know, and she was this cute girl that was around my age, so, you know. And then she grew up super hot.
This is true.
Amanda Bynes is next.
Ew.
Gotta look her up. Get what she looks... Oh!
There's a rumor floating around Facebook that she's in, psych lockup involuntarily.
Wasn't she, like a Disney chick, and then she went kind of nuts?
Nope, she was on Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon, okay.
She's not a Disney chick, and not at all.
Looking at her, I'm looking at this picture, I'll send it to you. You know, she's cute. I wouldn't say hot.
Yeah, she's cute. I know who she is. It's,
Yeah, she's okay. Girl next door.
She played in a movie that was based on that Shakespeare play, where a girl dressed up like a guy.
Okay, that's half the play.
Is it the 12th Night?
I think so, actually. Up next, oh, shit. Heck no, Lindsay Lohan, I'm over Lindsay Lohan.
No, fuck that noise.
You know, she's gotten to the point where just having big boobs isn't enough.
No, Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton can go share a cell together.
Okay, Paris Hilton, I'll be honest, I legitimately find her to be ugly. I do not like her at all. Lindsay Lohan is attractive, it's just she's such an empty-headed dingbat that I can't do it, you know?
Dingbat.
Yeah. Like, Paris Hilton is dumb and ugly.
Yeah.
And a bitch. She's a triple threat.
There is only one instance where I found Paris Hilton to be hot.
I've never had that, but go ahead.
And that was in Repo the Genetic Opera.
Oh, okay. Next, Angelina Jolie.
Oh, hells yeah.
She's aged a little, but still very beautiful. She's classy, too. She's not she's not whorish at all.
No, she won my heart when she played Maleficent.
You know, I wanted to see that, but I heard it was really bad.
It was excellent if you like amazing fight scenes, like Lord of the Ring-esque fight scenes.
But like, the story, was it any good?
The story was excellent. It was like her backstory as to why she went in and cursed the princess and shit.
Well, you know, the critics are not always right. Up next is Michelle Keegan. I don't know who this is, but I'm looking at the picture, and yeah, she's good looking.
I have no clue.
Here's the picture. It's a nice picture.
Is it a photo bucket? Okay, I see it.
Yeah, it's a photo bucket. Yeah, she's pretty.
Hold on, it's still loading for me. Yeah, she's pretty.
Next is, Jessica Alba. Yes, please.
Yes.
Let's see what... Oh, we got her in a swimsuit. Jessica Alba, man. You know what? She's not even that good of an actress, but I forgive her.
Yeah.
I forgive her for the Fantastic Four movies.
Yes.
Which were awful.
That's not her fault that they did bad casting.
You know that she hated those movies, too.
Yeah, that's not her fault that they did bad casting. I mean, she was just like, yeah, I'll take the role of money, you know.
I liked her in, you know what I liked her in was Sin City. She was good.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, yes.
Britney Spears, I'm kind of over Britney. I never really liked Britney Spears, to be honest with you.
See, the only thing I really liked about her is that she was famous and fell off the charts, and then famous and fell off the charts. She just keeps fucking coming back. Like...
I wish she'd stop.
I gotta give her credit, though, like...
Yeah, I mean, obviously...
crazy and shaved her head, came back and was an idol again.
She knows how to reinvent herself. She's such a mess. It's like... Fame has clearly, like, destroyed her life. I wish she would just, like, get out of it already, you know?
Do you want to know something funny, though, about that? You were talking about how you thought Amanda Bynes was from Disney.
Well, I didn't know her, but I heard like she was one of those like kid show people that kind of nuts.
But the difference between Disney and Nickelodeon kid stars is you may not hear much about the Nickelodeon kid stars, but they haven't been to drug rehab and they haven't been in sex scandals and stuff like that.
Oh,
you cannot say that for the Disney kids.
Other than Amanda Bynes.
That's the first to crop up, really.
Okay, well that was the last one out of 23. I'm gonna go 17 on this one.
Yeah, 17 is good. There were only a few that I didn't find to be purdy.
The list needed more evergreen.
Hells yes.
There you go. Okay.
If I was going to cast somebody in a movie for Zaria, it would be somebody like her.
There you go. Okay, here's something from the Escapist magazine. The 10 this is going to be nostalgic. The 10 most quintessential 90s movies.
Okay.
All right, so you're a little younger than I am, but I mean, obviously you remember the 90s, of course.
Now, are these like...
These are like the movies that define the 90s.
Like animated movies? Or...
Just movies. I haven't...
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the first one's Home Alone.
Yep.
Home Alone came out in 1990. And when you really think about it, this is a story about parents so stupid that they leave their kid at home when they all go on a vacation to France, and they abandon him, and then he attempts to murder 2 burglars.
Yep.
But it was a family... I didn't like Home Alone sequels, like 2, 3, all that shit, fuck it, you know? But the first one was genuinely a good movie.
See, my cousins and myself thought that the second one was awesome because of the toy store scene.
That was a cool scene, but that movie was so stupid.
Didn't matter, we were freaking kids. Yeah. It was like...
The first one was so cool. I mean, I could quote it at you, you know, for days. I mean...
Yep.
Is it true that chicks from France don't shave their pits? They got nude beaches. All right, the next one...
You can't tan, your freckles just connect.
Look what you did, you little jerk!
Yep.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer the original Terminator, but it came out in the 80s, so disqualified. Terminator 2 was awesome, though. Like I said,
yeah, it was badass.
A lot of people, I say, I like the first one better. And everybody goes, well, what's wrong with the second one? Absolutely nothing.
It's just a sense of preference.
Yeah, absolutely. I just like the first one more. But Terminator 2 was a really cool movie.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Wayne's World. Wayne's World, Wayne's World, party time, excellent.
Yes.
It's like people only do things for money. And that's sad.
Yep.
It's like the only like genuinely good movie based on like a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yes.
Although I gotta admit, I didn't totally hate Coneheads.
Oh, I love the Coneheads.
I didn't totally hate it, but...
I was just watching that the other night.
Wayne's World was way better, though.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, you know what? I'm being an idiot. I forgot about the Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers was good, too.
That was the first really good one.
I love Coneheads, though.
Alright, next up we have Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Fucking A.
Really?
How about I take your pants off instead? Okay. People are really nice around here. Real friendly.
Your gun is jamming into my...
That chick had, like, for the time that I'd seen that chick had the biggest boobs I've ever seen.
Good lord, yeah. Next up we have Speed. Remember with Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, Dennis Hopper?
Yes.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
I would not call it a quintessential 90s movie, though.
No.
It's a good movie that came out in the 90s, but it doesn't scream 90s at me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't have included it personally. Next up we have Hackers. Honestly, the only good thing about it is young Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
Other than that,
It doesn't stand out again. So that's...
I mean, I would have put, like, The Matrix there instead, you know? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's on here. Let's see, next, Clueless.
Oh, Christ.
It was funny, you gotta admit, I mean...
If you're into airheaded ditz bombs.
Well, that was the thing. It was making fun of the whole, like, Valley Girl cliche, you know, like, the whole fucking movie was like a Frank Zappa song.
Yeah.
And it had a great performance by the late Brittany Murphy, who I miss very much because she was a great actress.
Yes, I agree.
Next up, we have Mallrats. Mallrats, come on!
Oh, friggin' A, yes!
No, if you're gonna take a Kevin Smith movie from the 90s, you do Clerks.
That was good too, but...
Clerks. Okay, Mallrats, I didn't hate it.
No, it's a scooter!
It is not the classic that Clerks was. Come on. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Not even supposed to be here today!
Yep.
You know they're finally doing Clerks 3?
Really?
Well, I've been saying for ages that Kevin Smith needs to stop doing shitty movies and just do Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Because all of his other movies suck. The ones that are not called Clerks and Clerks 2 and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yeah, you know what it is that, like, he'd been trying to pitch Clerks 3, and nobody wanted it. And he tried to pitch some other movie, which was, like, a seriously, like, shitty idea, and they were like, what else you got? And he's like, well, I have Clerks 3. They're like, well, I have Clerks 3, like, let's do that.
Steal the chimp.
Okay. Next up, we got, Con Air. Really? I mean, I liked it, but... Con Air, really?
No.
I don't know, man.
It's like 3 or 4 down that are just like...
See, here's the thing. Con Air, I mean, action movie, Nick Cage, you know... Why wouldn't you... The Rock would have been a better idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Rock or Face Off.
Yeah.
You want to put, you know...
Face Off, fucking yeah.
Face Off rocked.
Yeah.
That was a really cool movie. I was thinking, let's talk about an action movie, Nick Cage and Travolta, and like, what are you, high?
Right.
But it was badass. I mean... Okay, and finally we have, one of my favorite comedies of all time, Office Space. I gotta kind of come down on this one a little bit, though, because I love this movie. One of my favorites, but I don't see it as a quintessential 90s movie. It came out in 1999. It came out late in 1999. The 90s were pretty much over. And It wasn't successful until, like, it came out on video. So, honestly, it kind of belongs to the 2000s.
Excuse me.
So,
yeah.
I wouldn't have put it on this list, honestly. But I can't complain too much because Office Space.
Yeah.
Ridiculously funny. Ridiculously funny. So, out of 10, honestly, this could have been better. I'm going to give it a 6.
That's what I was going to say. There were like 4 of them that didn't really belong.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been a lot better. I had high hopes for that list, but no. No. Okay. Now, this one, you know what? I'm going to wait on that one. Now, that really doesn't apply to you. I'm going to wait for Jesse, because the next one was Best Manly Movie Quotes. Okay. Let's say we do one more list.
Sure.
I gotta go to the bathroom soon.
It's happening.
It will happen soon. Okay, well here, Wrestling's Real, a new subscriber of mine. Actually, wait, I forgot. We gotta do those other lists. But okay, so 2 more. Because I got the one in the email. But, okay, Wrestling's Real, new subscriber of mine. He came to a couple of Twitch streams. Seems like a cool guy. He sent me his top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
Number 10, American Psycho. This was a really cool movie. I enjoyed it. It was the perfect deconstruction of, like, insane 80s yuppies and also a great performance from Christian Bale.
Yeah, that's true.
As a matter of fact, you know, like, I saw American Psycho, and it was like, you know, okay, that was cool, you know. And then I remember when they were working on Batman Begins, and they casted Christian Bale as Batman, and I was like, who the fuck is he?
Right.
So I looked it up, and I saw, oh, he was the guy in American Psycho, and I thought, he's fucking perfect. And I was right. He was awesome as Batman, so there you go.
Yeah.
Number 9, The Shining. I pretty much hate this movie.
Yeah, no.
And honestly, I know a lot of people like it, but you know what the problem is? I've read the book.
Yeah.
And no matter how good you could say the movie is, you gotta admit, if you know the book, It's not that they got the events wrong, it's that they got the point of it wrong.
That's like...
Even Stephen King said, and he's very right about this, okay, Stanley Kubrick was an atheist, and of course I have nothing against that, I'm an atheist myself, but
right.
He said because he didn't believe in the supernatural, he sort of took all the supernatural scary stuff out of The Shining and made it about Jack being crazy.
Right.
And
which wasn't the case.
The evil of the hotel was supposed to corrupt him.
Right.
And instead he was already out of his gourd, so. So it missed the point by a long shot. Number 8, Death to Smoochie. I'll admit I've never actually watched that. So.
Bits and pieces, but I don't really remember it.
Was that Robin Williams?
Yes.
I guess I'll have to watch that. Because I am a fan.
Was.
I am a fan, and there's not going to be any more movies with him, so.
Yeah.
I should catch up on the ones I haven't seen. Number 7, The Shawshank Redemption. This is an amazing film.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the movie where Morgan Freeman isn't the main character, but is so awesome that you think he is.
Did he still earn a freckle?
Every time he explains the plot, he gets a freckle. Number 6, The Dark Knight. This is a movie that every time I sit down to watch The Dark Knight, I'm thinking, in my head, I think, there's this little part of me that says, I'm not going to like it as much this time. It's going to be, I'm going to be done with this. And every time I watch it, I'm wrong. I like it more than I did before. It holds up. And every time I watch it, I get a little bit more out of it. It really is a really good movie.
You totally got to sit down and watch Assault on Arkham.
I am planning on it ever since Tanya told me about it, so.
It was excellent, and I don't just sit and watch Batman.
Well, I will. Number 5, one of my favorites, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Fight Club?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know.
That's why I'm sitting here going, yeah.
Well, it kind of sounded like when Tanya does yeah when she doesn't know something.
No, that was an excited kind of half-tired yeah.
Okay, well when Tanya does it, it's sarcastic yes.
No, if mine is sarcastic, you'll get a yeah, no.
Okay. Number 4, Star Wars Episode 5, which is The Empire Strikes Back. One of my favorites, the best Star Wars movie in my opinion.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. And you know what made that movie good? There were 2 things that made that movie good. One was George Lucas did not direct it.
True.
And the other was they let Harrison Ford improv most of his lines.
There you go.
Number 3, Finding Nemo. I haven't seen Finding Nemo. I have a feeling you probably have.
Yes.
You've got the little nieces.
Oh yeah. Well, I sit and watch it myself. Like I found it online in somebody did it in got it up on in 3D.
Oh, that's cool.
I was sitting there watching it on the tablet screen in absolute freaking awe because you're not supposed to be able to get 3D up online.
You could do it on YouTube, actually.
Well, it was the first time I'd ever seen it done online. And
it can be done now, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was amazing, like...
No.
And it's got funny parts, like it's... Disney and Pixar and stuff like that, they do the adult overlays over their Disney movies now.
Well, they are making movies for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
And it's funny because...
Like, I really liked Ice Age.
Ice Age was funny, too.
Not so much the sequels.
No.
But I liked the first one a lot.
There was, what movie was it that was funny? Meet the Croods? Or the Croods?
The cave people?
Yes, that was hilarious.
Alright, number 2 is one of my very favorite, maybe like my number 2 or 3 favorite movie ever, Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
I never get tired of this one. I could quote at you all day.
Say what again?
Say what? One more time, motherfucker. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Okay.
Can I have a bite of your burger? Some soda to wash it down with?
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
He's a black man.
And? He's bald. Does he look like a bitch?
No.
What?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? All right, and his number one, and for a guy whose name is Wrestling is Real, this is not a surprise. His number one favorite movie is The Wrestler. Which, you know, despite my disdain for professional wrestling, was a legitimately good movie. But that's because Mickey Rourke is an awesome actor.
Yes.
He's good in everything.
So we can forgive that.
Well, you know, I mean, it's a movie about wrestlers. It's not wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, the guy's name is ironic. He knows wrestling's not real. He just enjoys it, and that's fine. You know, it's the people who take it seriously that drive me crazy.
No,
Out of 10, the only one that I really take umbrage with is The Shining, so I'm only going to take a point off and give it a 9. It's a very good list.
Yeah, 9 sounds good.
Okay. We're going to end it with the list that was just sent to me by the Indie RPG Reviewer.
Who?
It's actually, well, they're somebody from YouTube.
Okay.
They review indie RPGs.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I wish Tanya was here, because they just did a review of Chronicles of a Dark Lord Episode 1.
No shit.
And Tanya just found the review just a couple of days ago, and they have a very unique way of doing reviews, is they don't talk or anything. They just show footage of the game. At the end, they give it a score.
Interesting.
So it just kind of lets it speak for itself, and I believe we got something like an 8 point something, you know? We got a very good score. You know, their channel just started. They don't like really have subscribers yet, but it seems like a really interesting way of doing it, and they do specialize in the kind of stuff that we do, because they're at studios.
Very cool.
So that being said, they must have found me because they sent me 2 lists. The first one is the top 10 hardest RPG boss fights, of course. Not just indie games, because there are some well-known games on here.
Right.
So number 10 is Orgula from Xenosaga Episode 2. I think the hardest part of that is actually playing Xenosaga Episode 2.
I think I've seen Tanya kicking around in that game to know enough about it.
Tanya doesn't like it either. Xenosaga Episode 2 was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, but I've seen her play it. You know, I mean, how would she know it was bad otherwise if she didn't do it herself?
Of course, yeah. Well, the thing is, it was so bad that when they released the final one, Xenosaga Episode 3,
right,
they gave you a recap of everything that happened in 2, so you don't actually have to play 2.
Nice.
Number 9, Seymour Flux from Final Fantasy X. Oh, yeah.
Ew.
That'll do it. Well, that's one of those optional. You know, number 8.
I'm not fond of FF10.
Really? I like it a lot.
No.
Number 8, The Grand Jewel from The Legend of Dragoon.
Huh.
That was a tough game in general, especially since it was very long, and you had to focus on using timing in your attacks.
Well, see, I haven't played some of these games, but I do peruse YouTube and...
Yeah. This is from back in the PlayStation 1 days, you know?
Yeah.
Number 7 is Wygroff, also known as Velius from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
There's a very easy way to defeat him, but if you don't know it, you're going to have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
The trick is, because the thing is you don't have your party. You only have Ramza.
Gotcha.
For the first part of the battle. The second part of the battle, you do have your party, but if Ramza is wounded at the end of the first round, he'd still be wounded because of continuation. The trick is to have him as a monk with the abilities of a squire as well. And what you do is you continually run away from Wygroff while boosting up your speed until you can move about 3 times to his 1, and then you go behind him and you just punch him to death.
That is basically a backstab sort of a deal.
Yeah, except you're punching because
yes.
The thing with monks is they're high risk, high reward. They're very, very powerful without weapons, but they are also low hit points. So.
Ah.
Number 6, Miguel from Chrono Cross. As someone who just played through Chrono Cross and I'm now uploading the videos, Miguel is very hard. He's the hardest boss in the game that you actually do have to fight.
Huh, okay.
He uses what he does is he uses an attack that weakens you to white attacks, and then he uses one of the best white attacks in the game, Holy Dragon Sword, which is almost guaranteed to kill one of your characters.
God damn, it sounds like it.
And at that point in the game, your main character is Lynx, who is a black innate character and is therefore severely weak to white attacks.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and you don't have that many revives at that point. Number 5, Dark Steel Dragon from Dragon Quest VIII. That was one of the optional bosses in the Dragon Trials after you beat the game.
Huh.
One of my favorite games of all time. Number 4, Elizabeth from Persona 3. I haven't played Persona 3. I'm going to take his word for it.
Not something I've heard of.
Number 3, Freya from Star Ocean 3. I haven't played this, but I'm sure Tanya has.
I would think so.
Yeah. Number 2, Zeromus from Final Fantasy IV.
Zeromus.
Final Fantasy IV can be very, very easy until the end when you find Zeromus, and he is hard. Unless you, get yourself to level 99, it's difficult. The fortunate thing is the enemies on the moon give so many experience points that it's actually quite easy to max out your levels.
Jeez.
But the thing about him is that he's a healthy challenge even at level 99. So.
Well, that's what you want in a game. You want a decent challenge. You don't want it to just be, piss away this and that.
Well, he's the last boss. He should be hard. And number 1, Xeon from Chronicles of a Dark Lord, Episode 1, Tides of Fate. Did you really think Xeon was that hard? I mean, I'm honored that he's on the list. But wow, he's harder than Zeromus. That's cool. Wait till you fight Anto in the second game.
I know, right? Oh, now you're fucked. You better be at a decent level.
Okay, and the next list that he has, and this will be our final list, is his top 15 favorite RPG boss fights.
Okay.
Number 15, Malak from Knights of the Old Republic, a game that I don't really care for. But I know Tanya's a fan, though. She might have been able to say something, but I would be like, nah, fuck it.
I've sat and watched her play it. Not really my thing either, you know?
You know what? It is the whole Star Wars thing. I'd prefer to just have the movies and not all this extra crap, you know?
Agree.
Although I did like the Super Nintendo games. They were fun. Number 14, Dark Lich from Secret of Mana. Oh, man, I don't like Secret of Mana that much. It's overrated. I know it's a beloved classic, but I just can't get into it. Number 13, I think you might like this one, Carissa. The Ultimate Being from Parasite Eve.
Ha!
Yes. Oh, God. For once, I'm glad Tanya's not here, because number 12, Deus from Xenogears. Man, fuck Xenogears. Number 11, Xeon from Shining Force 2. Those are classics, I mean.
Easy kitty.
Number 10, the Axum Rangers from Super Mario RPG. I remember getting to that as a kid and be like, oh, they're making fun of the Power Rangers. This is awesome.
Right.
I hated the Power Rangers, even as a kid, so the fact that they were making fun of the Power Rangers was really cool. Also from Super Mario RPG, number 9, Smithy.
Yeah.
You don't expect it at the end that you're going to fight like an evil Santa Claus.
No.
But that's the last boss, you know?
That's crazy.
Number 8, this is a game that I haven't played, but I know Tanya raves about it, is the boss is Apocrypha from Radiant Historia. I want to get a hold of that game, but it's hard to find. Number 7, another game that I've wanted to get a hold of, but it's hard to find. Lost Odyssey, the boss is Gongora. I do want to play that. Yeah. Number 6, from Chronicles of a Dark Lord, Episode 1, Tides of Fate, Antocalius. Wait until you play the second one, that's all I gotta say. Good Lord.
No spoilers.
Of course no spoilers, but I will say that, you know, people are going to be blown away by this game. It does everything except pull your pants down and lick you. I love it. Number 5, The Profound Darkness from Phantasy Star 4.
Lay down, Si. Sorry.
The dog's going nuts, huh?
It kind of. He's just moving around and being... Oh, don't get him started.
I won't. I'll stop. I just think it's cute when I do that and he does it back.
Yep.
Phantasy Star 4 is the game that, like, if you're an RPG fan and you were saddled with the Sega Genesis, which did not have a lot of RPGs, it was the game that made it worth it. It was like their answer to Final Fantasy VI. It was a great game.
Aww.
Number 4, the Dragon God, also known as the Time Devourer from Chrono Cross.
Huh. Okay.
You know, I just finished it yesterday, and I was, recording.
Well, what did you think?
Well, I've played it many times, and I'll tell you a little bit about... Yeah, that's Julie. Let me just answer her real quick.
That's cool.
Okay, there we go. And I talked briefly about it, and the Time Devourer is like a puzzle boss, you know what I mean? You could beat it normally, but if you do that, you get the bad ending. If you want to get the good ending, you have to play a song with your spells by using certain colors in certain orders.
Oh, gotcha. So kind of like a Simon thing going on there.
Yeah, but you have to figure out the song by cues from the game itself.
Huh, okay.
You play 6 elemental colors in the right order, and then you use the Chrono Cross. And if you manage to do it as one unbroken combo, which means he doesn't attack you,
yeah,
then it immediately ends the game and gives you the good ending.
Oh, okay.
And it's an extremely poignant ending, and I said when I was recording it, that's how you do the Earthbound ending properly. I always criticize Earthbound, and part of the last boss, Gigas, a lot of people talk about it being very poignant, very very sad. Whole idea of Gigas was inspired by an abortion, actually.
Oh, jeez.
And it was the idea that you're fighting this alien abortion, you know? Jeez. And that to kill it, you don't attack it, you have to pray. But the thing is, they had a decent idea, but they didn't have the talent to make it into a fun idea. It didn't make it an engaging battle, you're just mashing the pray button. In Chrono Cross, there was the element of, is he going to break my combo? I have to play it in the right order. I have to play the song. And then finally, it really pays off. And it's not the only way to beat him.
There you go. Hi, Julie.
Yeah, she's having a bit of a flip-floppy emotional day.
Aww.
Just letting her know, I'm here to talk.
I told you it's the whole full moon retrograde thing.
Well, she's had a bit of a rough time this week due to some crazy shit that's happened with her. But anyway, moving on.
Poor baby.
Number 3, Lavos from Chrono Trigger.
Or, as I taunt Tanya with, Yavos.
Yavos?
Yeah.
Why is it Yavos?
Well, you know how in Spanish you get a double L and it's supposed to say Y?
Sort of, yeah.
Like, me amo, you would say me amo.
Or paella, yeah.
Yes. So I taunt her with that all the time, just for the hell of it.
Yavos.
Yavos.
Number 2.
No!
Number 2, Magus from Chrono Trigger. So,
nice.
So that's Chrono Cross, and then Chrono Trigger, and then Chrono Trigger again.
This person really likes the Chrono stuff.
They should.
Yes.
And finally, number 1, the Statue of the Gods and Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. The Kefka Tower.
Yep.
Just amazing. The only thing bad to say about it is that it's easy, but it's so cool and so fun, and the music.
Motherfucker wins.
Well, this is at the end when you're fighting the Kefka Tower, you know?
No, I know that, but the motherfucker actually wins.
He actually did destroy the world, yeah.
Yeah.
You're basically... You know, like, it's funny, you see the Avengers, right?
Oh, yes.
Remember when Iron Man says to Loki, he says, if we can't save the Earth, we'll avenge it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you do in Final Fantasy VI.
Straight up, yep.
You don't save the world, but you do avenge it.
I haven't gotten that far myself, but I watch different, videos and crap.
Yeah, I mean, Kefka is the ultimate, RPG villain.
Damn right.
Then there's Antocalea sitting in his chair going, wait until they get a load of me. Batman reference for the win. I didn't rate the first one. Alright, the first one, his hardest RPG boss fights, I'm going to give that an 8.
Yeah, definitely an 8. There were only 2 that shouldn't really have been there too much, but...
And for his top 15 favorite RPG boss fights, cool to put Antocalea in there.
Yeah.
A few of these I haven't really played, like Radiant Historia Lost Odyssey, but
yeah,
I take his word for it. I'm making him a 15 because these are his favorites, so... Yeah,
it's about opinion, and some of them I haven't even, heard
well,
of.
There was nothing on that one where I'm like, oh, that sucks.
No.
There's nothing on it like Xenosaga or, Episode 2,
Right.
So, okay, thanks, Indie RPG Reviewer, for reviewing our game, and also for sending in those lists.
Yes, thank you.
And that'll be the show. See you soon with List Critics Boss. With Armageddon Time, thank you, Carissa, for filling in today.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Goodbye, everybody.
Au revoir.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.